Good morning, everybody. It is Friday morning. It is 8:30 on Friday morning, which means it is time for Coffee Talk with Kima. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Super excited to be here. Got lots of fun things to talk about, and just really excited about this weekend. You know why? I'm gonna work on Saturday, but I've got no plans other than that. We got the Final Four this weekend. I mean, it's going to be a really good weekend, and I'm excited about that. What are you excited about this weekend? What's on your agenda? What's going on in your world? So anyhow, let's go ahead and get busy. We're going to start the same way we used to always start, and that is you are looking live at the Kima Real Estate Group headquarters here in Wake Forest, North Carolina. It's my tribute to you, Brent Musburger, who would open up every podcast, every single a sporting event that he would do. He would always say, "You are looking live at Yankee Stadium or at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum or whatever it was," right? So we adopted that many years ago when we first started Coffee Talk, and we'll continue that. So yes, so welcome today to the headquarters here at the Kima Real Estate Group in Wake Forest. It is an interesting day today. So today's really special for a variety of reasons. Number one, you realize on this day in 1889, the Eiffel Tower was inaugurated. That's special, right? To me, that's special, right? I mean, I don't know. What else makes today special? Well, today is National Tater Day. I like taters, right? So taters are a couple different things, right? They're either potatoes, right, that people refer to as taters, or in the early 70s, Reggie Jackson made the phrase hitting taters very popular, right? Because he was hitting lots of taters for the then Oakland A's, right? It's also National Crayon Day. And Cole, if you're watching this, my son Cole, when he was little, could not say the word crayon for whatever reason. He just called them crowns. Dad, can I get the crowns from you? I mean, he would always ask for crowns. So shout out to you, Cole. Shout out to you. Today's also special birthdays, right? Today's birthdays include Al Gore, Rhea Perlman from The Greatest Show Ever. Cheers. Cheers to you, Rhea Perlman. Christopher Walken, some famous actor that's got a really unique look, right? And then Angus Young, the lead singer of AC/DC. But you know who else's birthday it is today? Today is the birthday of my mom. We refer to her lovingly as Oma. So today, if you'll join me in raising your Kima cup and wishing Oma a happy birthday, I would appreciate that. Oma, happy birthday. I'll see you soon. And we're going to take you out to dinner tonight. So excited to see you. Cannot wait to celebrate your birthday today. For those of you that don't know, my mom turns 39 today. Very special day for her. Anyhow, another special day happened yesterday. One of the most special days, right? And that is Major League Baseball's opening day. Why is it special? Well, if you're a historian or if you like anything about just American history, baseball has been interwoven into American history for so many decades and generations that it became a part of our, I mean, it was our national pastime for the longest. I don't think it is any longer, by the way. But opening day of baseball is special, right? It's spring. Spring is on the horizon. It's kind of the first indication that spring is coming. That we're going to get back outside, right? Every team has eternal hope on opening day of baseball, including my Oakland A's, who typically are out by the end of April. But as of this morning, after last night's big victory over Shohei Ohtani and Michael Trout, the A's are 1-0 in first place. So let's go Oakland, baby. But so talking about baseball, I want to know what you think. Is baseball fair or unfair, right? So in the NFL, a city like Green Bay can compete every season. Green Bay, Wisconsin can compete every season because there's a salary cap and the economics work. So that cities like Green Bay can compete with cities like New York and Atlanta and some of these other, Los Angeles. Where in Major League Baseball, if you're not in LA or you're not in Philadelphia or you're not in Boston, you're not in any of these major cities with lots of money, you don't stand a chance to win more often than not, right? So cities like Milwaukee or Oakland or Kansas City or Tampa, right? It's the economics just don't work. So to me, baseball's got some work to do if they want to get back as in the forefront of being the national pastime. But then I got to thinking about traditions. So opening day traditions. So I saw my friend Steve Kruger yesterday do something. Every year on opening day, he cooks hot dogs. Not only hot dogs, but Nathan's hot dogs from New York, right? So he does that every single year for opening day of football, or baseball rather. talk to me a little bit about your favorite baseball traditions, right? And whether you were a player or whether you're a fan, like what are those things you do? So my brother and sister-in-laws, they go to every single stadium. Like their goal is to fill a book and go to every single stadium, which I think is really, really cool. And in honor of my father-in-law, who's no longer with us, they leave in a certain inning because he would always want to leave by a certain inning to beat the traffic. And so they keep that tradition up no matter how good the game is, they get out of that stadium. But I'd love to know what your favorite traditions are. You know, when you played, did you change your socks if you lost? And dude, how about that? 8 Cy Young Award winners? Dude, seriously, a lot of records broken yesterday on the Hill. Then it brings me to this. The final thing I'll say about Major League Baseball is this. Major League Baseball has spawned an industry, right? The movie industry. There's a segment of it that was spawned by the love of baseball in this country, right? Whether it be 8 Men Out or Field of Dreams or Bull Durham. What is your favorite baseball movie of all time? There's 2 to me that stand out above the rest, right? One of those is Major League. Major League, if you haven't seen it, ran on replay in our fraternity house for many, many years in the afternoons. Just a great, great movie full of one-liners. And The Sandlot, of course. The Sandlot was just classic for a variety of reasons. So, anyway, what is your favorite baseball movie? Do you have one that I missed there? I think a lot of you are going to say Field of Dreams or Bull Durham. Both very, very good movies for sure. The Natural. I forgot about that. Yes, that's right, Anthony. Man, you're going back a couple of years now, but that was a good one. I loved 8 Men Out. I thought 8 Men Out was really, really good. Anyway, I'll move on. So while that season started yesterday, another season is upon us right now, and it's one of my favorite seasons, and that's Fire Pit season. Fire Pit season happens twice a year. It happens in the fall, then it happens again in the spring here in North Carolina. What is Fire Pit season? It's when you put real wood in a fire pit behind your house and you get together with friends. You might smoke a cigar, you might have a glass of bourbon, or you might just have the kids out there for some marshmallows, right? The Fire Pit season does a couple of things. A, it brings families together. B, it gets you off your phone and away from your television. And C, it slows life down a little bit. What I love most about Fire Pit season is the sound and the smell of a burning fire. You can be around a burning fire by yourself, and it's like watching a fish tank, right, where the fish just slowly go up. Watching a fire, to me, is one of the most relaxing and rejuvenating things that I think are available to us. So do you love Fire Pit season? Are you a Fire Pit person? And then I'm going to ask you, are you a gas fire pit or a natural wood fire pit person? We're natural wood on everything. I see the convenience of a gas fireplace inside the house. Don't get me wrong. But we still prefer that wood. It just smells better. The sound is better. Yes, it makes more of a mess. And yes, it takes some effort and time to get it going. But if you're going to have a fire, like to me, the essence of that wood and the smell of that wood and the popping and what have, to me, there's just nothing better. Nothing better. Anyhow, so I want to talk a little bit about Camden at Fire Pits. The best Fire Pit story I've ever told is one that is just the cutest little freaking story of all time. We were all sitting around having s'mores. Camden couldn't have been 3 years old. His feet couldn't hit the floor sitting in a chair. We're all sitting around having a great fire. Yeah, natural in the backyard, brother. I hear you. We were all sitting around the backyard and, having s'mores and what have you. And I look over and Camden's sitting there taking his stick that cook your marshmallows on. He'd reach into the bag, grab a marshmallow, put it on a stick, stick it in his mouth, and be done. Right? He had a mouthful, looked like a chipmunk. Mouthful of marshmallows. He cut out the middleman. He cut out the fire, went straight for the marshmallow. So fire pits bring a lot of great memories and what have you. So, which brings us to, there's all sorts of seasons starting right now. Prank season starts tomorrow. What is prank season? It's called April Fools, right? So April Fools tomorrow is one of my favorite days, but we do it every single day in our house, right? We do it to our dog. We do it to each other, but we're constantly pulling. Hell, I was hiding from Ozzy this morning and whistling for him until he started crying. I mean, it just puts a smile on my face to see somebody pull off a good prank. Jennifer and I had just gotten engaged. We're living in Carmel, Indiana. And shout out to a great little town north of Indianapolis. And we had just gotten engaged. I'd scraped together every bit of money I had. I think I was giving blood and bone marrow to try to have enough money to buy a wedding ring. I was so in love and still am. Had proposed to Jen. And she'd come into my office. I had an office upstairs in this old townhome we were leasing at the time. And she comes in, and she's pure white, almost turning green. She was so upset. And, I'm a fixer. I'm like, what is it? What's the matter? and she starts trying to stumble through her words that she had dropped her ring and knocked it off the counter and into the commode. And if you know me, I'm a neat freak. I don't like filth. Like, I don't do filth. But here I am with my life savings sitting in a commode at this time in life. And I can't see the ring, and I'm like, oh no. So I go downstairs and I grab a latex glove, and I grab like a plastic bag and put it over it. And I get down on my hands and knees. I take a couple deep breaths, and I go to plunge my hand into the commode and reach down in. And I get to about 2 inches from the water, and I hear her yell, "April Fools," and scream running down the stairs. It was a great prank. I was so grateful that she let me out. Had she let me just fish around with my hand in the commode, it would have been a better prank, but I'm so grateful that she has a little bit of heart for me. So, Coach, what's up? Dude, what happened to your Red Sox yesterday? My A's are in first place, brother. First place for those Oakland A's. Dude, I think it's going to be a big year in Oakland. I can't name 3/4 of the players on the roster every year, but what the hell, we'll see. Anyhow, yeah, I saw that loss. That's a tough one. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what makes North Carolina so unique and what makes us kind of crazy when it comes to real estate. Nearly every state in the country closes with an escrow or a title company, right? In the United States, in the state of North Carolina, we close at an attorney's office. We don't use title companies. Title companies do nothing besides provide title insurance. That being said, the other thing that makes us really unique is that we use 2 deposits in our contracts. I personally like this. We actually, it's more like a commercial real estate contract. We have both an earnest money deposit that the rest of the world understands, right? You put a little bit of money up front, it sits in a trust account somewhere, typically with your title company, and that money's not released until either somebody backs out of the contract or you close, right? It's a little bit of protection money. Well, we have that, but we do it a little bit differently here. So we've got something that we refer to as due diligence money, right? So what is due diligence money? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a deposit made from the buyer to the seller, non-refundable, up front, to buy time to do what? To do their due diligence. And so they might buy 3 weeks, right, worth of time, or 4 weeks worth of time. During that time frame, they're going to be doing inspections and appraisals and applying for their loan. All those kinds of things happen there. If at any time during the due diligence period that they've already purchased now, if at any time during the due diligence period they get cold feet, or they don't like the way the grass lays on a Saturday, or whatever the reason, in other words, they don't have to have a reason, they can cancel the contract. The seller retains that little bit of due diligence period that was purchased from them, and the earnest money is returned to the buyer. Now, after that approximate 3 week period of time, if the buyer then backs out, then the earnest money is there to protect the seller from the end of due diligence to closing, right? The earnest money is refundable through the due diligence period. The earnest money is paid to an attorney and sits in a trust account. The due diligence money is paid directly to the seller, right? Again, very much like an option contract that you would find in commercial real estate. Really unique. It sets us apart. I believe Texas is this way as well, but really just a complete different way of doing real estate. It sets us apart for sure. Here's the key. Both of the deposits are credited towards closing. In other words, both of those will come off the price of the house at the closing table. And that's how most deals are. Most deals get to the closing table. So both the due diligence and the earnest money is credited. So there you have it. That's clearing up both the due diligence and earnest money fee question. And it's really interesting when people move here from other states, whether they move here from Ohio or Massachusetts or wherever they're coming from, and they don't have that, it takes a little bit to convince a buyer. Not only are you putting down an earnest money that's protected, you're also putting down a due diligence deposit that isn't. None of this is required, but it's almost expected. Make sense? All right. So let's talk about the market here in Wake County. So right now we have 6,370 homes pending, right? That's 3 weeks in a row that we've been above 6,000 homes pending in our counties that cover our market. Like, we don't use the Southern Pines market, that whole longleaf pine, I think they call it. I'm talking about the Wake County and greater Wake County area. Again, 3 weeks in a row. The last time that we exceeded 6,000 pending listings was October of 2022, right? So it's interesting that at that time we had 1.8 months worth of inventory. Today we've got 1.3 months of inventory. Gang, and we're heading into the spring market, which means more buyers, right? Hopefully it means more sellers, but it certainly means more buyers, which means there's still an inventory crunch here. It's the same record that I'm playing over and over again for you every single week, just a different way to look at it. Listen, I hope you enjoyed yesterday. I hope you got a good prank waiting for somebody tomorrow. I want you to know that that if you're by yourself this morning, or you kind of feeling a little bit alone, I want you to know that you matter. You matter to me, right? I want you to know that if you're watching this, you certainly matter to me. Reach out. Would love to hang out with you. Love to talk to you. If there's anything I can do for you this week, let us know. If you have real estate needs and you're in Wake County, give our team a call. Talk to you later. Happy birthday, Mom.